Hello, my name is Cindy Matalucci, and you're watching The Pulse, where we get the 411 on all the latest and greatest things to do in this amazing city, San Diego. From the newest bars and restaurants to the chicest boutiques, to the gyms and the trainers that are getting the people of this city buff 365 days a year, to the place you want to go to get your spa on. I'm exploring it all for you, and of course, having fun along the way. So come with me while we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. This episode of The Pulse was brought to you by Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial. For all your financial needs, Windus and her team have got you covered. On today's episode, we start our show in studio with our financial expert, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial. We talk financial advice for married and unmarried couples. Whether you're single, married, or in a domestic partnership, we answer your questions about shared assets, retirement, and so much more. We end our show in studio with fitness expert and actor, Chrysostomou and Arian Hodge, a wellness lifestyle enthusiast and actress. They give us tips on fitness and showcase healthy food that you can eat to be at your optimal level of performance. Whether you are married or single, what are some of the main financial concerns that you have, and what should you be doing to set yourself up for long-term financial success? Is it smart to have shared assets? What do you need to know about estate planning? We dive into these topics and help give you some tips on how to minimize the stress and confusion for you and your loved ones. Watch this. Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial, our financial expert. Thanks for coming back on the show.
As usual, thank you for having me.
It is traditionally a male-dominated field, but you've been in the industry since 2003, and you run a successful office and a team of financial planners.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is your favorite thing about your job?
Well, I love the diversity of our clients, and the favorite part about my job is really being able to understand what the client is trying to achieve. Why do they come to us? What do they need from a financial planning perspective? And getting to know all of the idiosyncrasies about their life and how they run their finances and what their goals are.
Okay.
When do you want to retire? Or when do you want to make work an option? Because not everyone likes that word retire. I get definitely a reaction from clients when we use that word. It's also part of the planning process to understand that too.
I love that. So we're going to dive into a great topic today. We're going to talk about financial planning for married couples and unmarried couples. I think this is huge. Israel and I, obviously we work with you. So we're kind of going through this right now, and it's definitely, it can be complicated. So I kind of wanted to bring these topics to the table and to our viewers and shed light on some of the things that are going on. So let's start with married couples. What are some of the main financial concerns that married couples have, and what are you seeing that you're talking with your couples about?
Whenever we have married couples come in, we always want to start to make sure that they're on the same page, or that they get to voice what their individual financial priorities are, because sometimes they feel like they can't voice them, and it's really good to give everyone some space to get that out there, and then we get to help them create a plan that represents all of their goals, not just where if one person doesn't feel heard. And the other aspect is really helping them make sure that their budget's in tune, where everyone knows what they're spending and they're comfortable with that.
Okay, I like that. So what about shared assets, right? And retirement, because this is different if you're married or unmarried. But if you're married, you were telling us debt is collective and things like that, right?
Right. So I guess I kind of look at shared assets a little differently, because we've had married couples who come in and they have been married even for 40 years. And they don't even have shared bank accounts or shared finances, and they didn't plan for retirement necessarily together, yet they were able to retire together. So that's a part of the understanding process, is how you're running your finances as a married couple. Then on the flip side, we have couples who come to us who aren't married, who do run everything jointly too. But you're right. The legal document of marriage there are some rights and some aspects to that, like your debt is shared. When you're not married, your debt's not shared, typically.
So estate planning, right? So people would work with you as a couple if they're married, right? They would work with you for, as a team to kind of come up with what legacy that they want to leave behind.
Absolutely.
Right? So is there something that you could recommend? Is there proper strategies for that? Is it case by case?
It is case by case, which I hate saying because that feels so vague, but it's, if someone comes to us and they don't have children, it's also open up the conversation. If you don't have kids, do you want all the money to go to a special niece or nephew, or is there a charity that we need to look at, or is it splitting it? And even when you are married, I often talk to couples about how much they want to leave to their children. This goes back to that Warren Buffett giving, where, he said your kids should be able to support themselves and you shouldn't leave them billions of dollars. Wish that was the problem with most of my clients, but it's more like, how much do you want to leave for your kids? And if you want to leave this much for your kids, what kind of planning do we need to do to make sure you're still taken care of?
Well, when would you start? Like, when's a good time to start this kind of planning? Is it sort of like right when you get married? How does that work?
I do think it's really good if you can do a living trust. So this is we don't do trust as financial planners, but a triggering point for needing an estate plan, which we often refer to as a living trust in the state of California, is when you buy real property or have assets outside of property that total above $150,000. Okay. These are the two triggers as a financial planner that make me say, have you talked to an attorney about putting together a living trust? But what's cool about a trust is you can put it together when you don't have those two triggering points. And as a couple, you've now decided, as you accumulate wealth, who will receive your assets if something happens to you, and also it has your power of attorney and healthcare directives, and makes sure that if you find yourself in the hospital, that it's what you want being done, not a committee of people deciding what happens.
Well, and I love that your website's great for information. You guys have a free ebook online for this as well, and people can put their information in and get this information. So I think that's amazing. Okay, so before we get into unmarried couples, short-term and long-term goals, right? For couples in general. How important is it? Is it to set
both, man, I think it's super critical. But I also live and breathe money every day, and this is the conversation that we spend pretty much all day long talking to clients about. So for me, it's very real to have an update with my husband about, for example, we were looking to do a remodel, got the price on the remodel, and now it's becoming a short-term goal, a couple years out, not a near-term goal. But I do think it's really good to make sure you know what you're both working towards and what you're working towards with your family, and even have the conversation with the kids so that they're aware of what's going on.
Communication.
It really is important. Money drives a lot of anxiety and uncertainty, and when you're having the communication, you can help reduce it. I also find people have guilt over spending that they shouldn't have. They should have permission to spend and know what it's good, what's within their budget.
Okay, no, that's really good. Okay, so unmarried couples, this is huge because many people are choosing to not get married, and it gets kind of sticky. And before we get into this, I just want to read a stat because I love my stats. So 50% of the U.S. adults are single. 126.9 million unmarried people, according to the Census Bureau. That's a lot.
But are those people who never got married, or some of them are just divorced, or it's just all single?
They're just they're single. So
got it. However they've arrived,
they are themselves single
on the census. Got it.
But I was reading something, and I think it said 30% was has never been married. So that's another interesting stat. We should dive into that. But
and the other 70% are licking their wounds from all the divorce costs.
Well, it's crazy. It's an interesting topic, and I think that what's interesting is the rules for married couples don't apply to the unmarried couples. A lot of the rules, right?
Right. I mean, yes. So
because
your assets don't pass the same.
Right.
So if something happens, like if you are each other's beneficiary on a retirement account, is the best example I can give, and you're not married, the Secure Act basically gave you 10 years to take all of the money out. When you're married, your spouse inherits that retirement account like it was their own, and they don't have to take it out. So there are some rules that can change the way you receive an asset or how fast you have to pay the taxes on that asset.
Okay, interesting. Well, so for couples too, maintaining a separate bank account, but also maybe a shared account, there's a lot of caveats, I think, having both, right? Do you have any advice on
I see a lot of couples they enjoy the idea of having a little bit of money that is their own. Okay, so that's I don't have to ask for permission. I don't have to feel guilty. This is my bucket of money. Maybe I want to buy you a gift you can't see. It's kind of nice to have.
You can't do it out of the joint account. They're going to see it.
Right?
Right.
But then this is a personal choice because I myself don't have a separate account for my husband, but I do know he has a separate account for me, and it doesn't bother me. It's fine. If I ever asked about the balance, he would tell me. It's not a big deal. But it's also because we have open communication on the topic.
Well, and is there anything that you have to worry about, like owning a property jointly means that you're jointly liable? I mean, you have to kind of think about those types of things too, right?
Right. Absolutely. The property ownership is a much bigger conversation. And often, so now I am not an attorney, just need to reiterate that, but I do know, just because you're not married doesn't mean that that person living there and contributing to the mortgage doesn't have some equity, right? It starts to get really complicated because I know California doesn't have common law marriage, but I also know that by paying the mortgage or part of the mortgage, you can have rights to that house too if you've lived together for 20 years, for example, even if you're not married.
Well, and I wanted to talk about this too, because like estate planning for people that aren't married, Israel and I are going through this. I mean, the two of us had a week where we were thinking, oh my gosh, what if something happens to us? It's been like one of those weeks. Israel pulled his back out. I was really sick. I had to go to urgent care. Anyway, so we were thinking, we really want to do something with our will and our trust and get everything in order. But it's a little bit more complicated because we were thinking, oh, we can do this joint, trust, but we can't as an unmarried couple.
Right. You have to have separate trusts that maybe point to each other, but are separate.
Right. And so many people I know, that weren't married, either they lost their significant other and then things went into probate when it came to like property.
But I've even had married couples end up in probate because, for example, a spouse has an account where they didn't list a beneficiary on it and it was just in that spouse's name. Just because you're married doesn't mean that account automatically transfers. That could trigger a probate.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. So like Israel and I were thinking, and we're going to talk to our accountants as well, but should we just get married? Is it easier to just get married to make this joint, partnership? And then raising children, it gets even more complicated too if you're not married, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what's the first thing that we should do? Like, anyone out there, maybe if they are unmarried, like, is it talk to the financial planner first? Is it talk to an accountant?
It's so interesting because I do have couples that aren't married where I only work with one of them. I have couples that aren't married that come in and do everything jointly. It goes back to personal preference. I would say if you're not married and you're not having open conversations with your significant other about your future together, just make sure your financial house is in order. So step one is make sure you've taken care of you. And then when that opportunity arises where you can do that together, great. At least you did your part and you started.
I love that. And then like retirement plans and investments and things like that, or joint investments, it's really go to your financial planner, look at everything, get the advice.
Right. And if you jointly hold an asset, then that helps make sure that the other person is taken care of if something happens.
I love that. But basically, when a client comes to you, you sort of have a checklist of things that you're going to go down with that client to go over with them to make sure that everything's in order. And what would you say like the best thing for couples to do if they want to reach out to you to work with you?
Well, to reach out to me to work with me, I'd find myself on the website, trilogyfinancialservices.com.
We have that up.
Perfect. There's a San Diego section where you can come visit me and my team, and you can reach out to us directly through there.
And then before we go today, is there like a final tip you can say, maybe to just relieve stress for couples out there?
I do find that the number one way to relieve stress around money is to do a financial plan and know what it takes to succeed. And I think often people don't do the plan and they're just kind of shooting from the hip, and they don't understand that actually gives them more anxiety than just planning.
For more information on Windus and her team, you can go to trilogy.com/advisor/Windus Fernandez Brinkkord. It's so important to stay healthy and fit, both physically and mentally. Yet this is not always easy. Eating right and being active is fundamentally crucial to living a happy, healthy life. Yet how do we optimize our performance to be the best version of ourselves? Harris and Arian give us moves and snacks that we can eat to help drive our performance. Take a look. And we are welcoming back to our studio, Harris Chrysostomou. How are you?
I'm awesome. Really happy to be back. Always an absolute pleasure. Really looking forward to this one today. It should be a good one.
And he's a fitness expert and an actor now, so we're so excited to have him. And then he brought Arian Hodge.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
So good to have you. And you are a fitness enthusiast, wellness enthusiast, actress, mom.
Yes, I do it all.
We love that. Well, you guys, before we kind of get into health and wellness and some of the things that you're going to be showcasing today, you guys have such great stories. So I was hoping we could inspire the viewers and tell them a little bit about your stories. Harris, you've been on the show several times, and you're from London. So give us a brief background.
I'm originally from Notting Hill, London, England. I literally moved to the States 9 years ago to fulfill my dream of helping people live healthier, longer lives whilst looking fabulous. Always had a burning desire to act and do stuff on TV. And then I met Cindy. She was my inspiration to pursue acting and to, further that career and to actually just go for it and live my dreams. So thank you, Cindy.
I love that. Well, we love having you on the show. And then Arian, I know you guys met at the Actors Studio, right?
Yes, at Los Angeles Acting Studio. Our teacher is Andrew Benny, and we study under Meisner hybrid technique, and it's a lot of fun at the studio.
Well, right, and he specializes in Meisner. And what is Meisner for the people that don't know that?
So Meisner technique has a lot to do with repetition. We do something called raw moments. That's a little bit of a hybrid technique that they created. And it's about feeling the emotion and living out the emotions in real time. It's kind of moment to moment.
Well, and what led you, with your story, what led you to getting into acting?
So originally I'm from San Diego, California, and growing up I always loved movies, loved TV, film, modeling, models. I loved it all. So I pursued acting in high school. I went to the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts and did acting there. And now as an adult, I'm realizing that I only have one life, and so I just need to go for my dreams and make them a reality and put in the hard work. And so, I spend a lot of time at the studio.
Love that. And we all have that in common. It's never too late to go after what you want. So we just want to inspire you. No matter what, never give up.
Yes,
right?
never give up.
Absolutely. It's never too late, man. Just go for it.
Just go for it. Okay, so today, you guys, we're going to dive into some fitness techniques and then also some nutrition, because Harris, you can tell us it's so important and crucial, really, to put the right food and workouts with your body, right? So you can do your optimal performance.
Absolutely. Health and fitness, exercise and nutrition can really help change your life through eating the right foods to fuel your emotions and to use those emotions to be emotionally intelligent, to make decisions that will ultimately lead you to your dream life. Same with exercise. Releases endorphins. Not only does it make you feel fabulous, but it just changes your whole demeanor and energy that you put out there in the world. So
today, Harris, what are you going to demonstrate for us?
We're going to demonstrate 3 lower body movements on the lovely Arian. Her goals are to accentuate the glutes, the bum, as well as the inner thigh, the hamstrings, and the hips. So it's 3 movements back to back. So you ready, Arian?
I am ready.
Let's do this. Let's get you strapped up.
Well, and I think image is so important today, especially with everything that you're doing, is looking and feeling your best. And I love that you're so passionate about making people be their best self, right?
That's what it's all about. You want to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. And it all starts with taking care of ourselves, not only how we look, but how we feel, and the whole package.
I love it. Okay, so what are we doing today?
So the first movement, Arian, we're going to start off with a wide squat. So your legs are going to be about just beyond shoulder width to put the tension onto the hamstring. I'm going to pass you a dumbbell because you're a strong lady. So
yes, I am.
You can handle the big boy weights. So keep the elbows up, the shoulders back. So you're going to push through the heel, drop your bum back into a squat position, striker pose, flex, push your knees out, come in, come up, push through your heels, accentuate the butt cheeks by pushing them forwards and engaging the glutes. So let's do 5 reps, Arian. So nice and smooth.
And I love that you use bands that are easy to get to use.
Absolutely. Bands put the emphasis on the glute. So you can literally do any lower body movement using bands if your goal is to get that, much desired glute peach shape. Beautiful, Arian.
The peach.
I love it. The peach. We were talking about that earlier. Perfect.
You.
So that's one move.
That is
the second movement will be a stiff-legged deadlift. So I'm going to give you another dumbbell. I'll give you the other black. And again, we can keep the bands on because again, Arian wants to really work the glutes. So yes, why not? I believe in optimizing movements to get what you want out of it.
Okay.
So stiff-legged deadlift. You're pushing through the heel. You're keeping your chest up. You're coming down, driving through the heels, get a nice deep stretch upon the hamstrings. When you come up, you want to stop just before the hamstrings relax, take it right back down. So it's really important that you keep the tension on the hamstrings by not coming up too high. If your goal is to keep it hamstring dominant, there you go. Okay.
I'm glad he's not torturing me today. This is great.
Arian's my
the guinea pig
demo-y today.
But how many would you do of these?
Again, I would start off with high reps, 15, 20 reps if you're new to it.
Okay.
It all depends on how far along you are in your workouts and in your training journey as to the amount of weights. Mm-hmm. But for beginners, really focus on perfect form and really focusing on contracting and keeping constant stimulation on the hamstring. Good.
I love that. Good stuff.
Breaking
I
a sweat.
I love a good deadlift.
All right. The final movement
Final move.
would be an isolation glute kickback. This is
Well, and how
Ariana's
do you know
favorite,
what
right?
kind of
Yeah,
band?
these are my
like,
favorite.
How strong of the band, or what type of?
When it comes to bands, pick a band that really enables you to perform the movement and execute it as you need to really contract the muscle.
Okay.
If you can't use the full range and really engage the muscle, then it's not worth using a band that's, too intense, because you won't be getting anything out of the exercise. All right, so 5 reps on each side, Ariane. You ready?
Should we start left or right?
Let's start with the left. Let's do it with the left. So with this movement, donkey kicks. Get that squeeze. As you can see there, the glute is firing up. Bring the knee in, stretch the muscle, don't let it rest, bring it right back up. Perfect.
These
2.
are really isolating, huh?
These isolate the glutes. You're moving from one joint, so it really keeps tension only on one specific area. Let's go, Ariane. Last one. Get that squeeze.
And you do a lot of training, so this is something you're doing with clients on a regular basis.
Absolutely, yeah. It's about optimizing movement patterns for each person's abilities. Now, Ariane's really flexible. She's trained a lot, so her movement patterns are really pretty. So yeah, she'll be an easy.
She's making it look good.
She's making it look good.
But just these 3 exercises you could do sets of, and this is a great workout.
Absolutely, and this little circuit, rest there, Ariane, is logical. It starts off with a big compound movement, which works all the major areas of what we're trying to hit. And then we move on to like a stiff-legged deadlift for more the hamstring glute tie-in, and then we're finishing off with the bum and the hips. So a nice little quick workout that you can do in minutes.
So we are going to talk about nutrition, one of my favorite things. And you guys being actors, I know we were talking about this, it takes a lot out of you to take acting classes and to be on set and things like that. So I know you were saying that it's really important to refuel yourself. And you've got some snacks that kind of help you do that.
Absolutely. With acting, you need to really stay sharp, be on your game, stay focused. Berries, really easy to kind of attain. Really high in antioxidants, gives you that lift that you need instantly.
And you have some other great things like greens, and which are so important.
Yeah, greens are super important for fiber, super important for vitamins, and some things that I would love to do. We have some kale over here. I love to just honestly chop it up either into a salad. We have some olive oil over here, avocado oil, mixed with a little lemon, a little garlic. You have your dressing right there. You can throw some pine nuts in there, walnuts. Nuts are another really great source of energy. And yeah, throwing it into a salad makes it a little easier to, sneak them in here and there.
Or even a smoothie, right?
Yeah,
I love like
smoothies
some
as
kale
well.
in my smoothie.
So we have these acai packs. They are Zambonian, and they sell them pretty much everywhere. Target, Costco, Whole Foods, pretty much everywhere you have access to these packs. Berries, go ahead and mix it with the berries. Throw a little coconut water in there to hydrate you, and you have a smoothie.
Well, and also we were talking about immunity, right? I think for everybody, especially when you're working hard, you're dedicated to your craft, whatever that may be, these are important for immunity.
Oh yeah, all immune boosters.
Especially the shiitake mushrooms and the garlic. We're really close genetically to mushrooms, so it really makes sense to consume mushrooms to help optimize immunity so that you don't get sick and so that you're functioning at your optimal level.
And I love shiitake mushrooms. I use those every day.
Yeah.
And then you guys have some other stuff over here, the cacao, right? I love this. Tell us about this.
Oh yeah, the goji berries. These are like a quick snack that I keep in the house, and I eat like 2 or 3 of them, and I can feel my energy be uplifted just after having these. Goji berries are full of antioxidants as well. They're a superfood. There's dates in here too, which are full of fiber.
I love dates.
Yeah, I love dates too.
It's a good sweet treat too. If you don't
Yeah.
want to eat chocolate, eat a date, but just don't eat too many because I think they have a lot of calories.
It's a lot of diuretic too, yeah, and a lot of sugar too. Or nature's candy, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Sugar's great, but when it comes to training and getting the most out of these nutrients, it's all about timing. So beets, awesome for pre-workout, helps get you that nitric oxide delivery into the muscle. Helps with blood flow, so you get a better pump, and then you can feed that pump to achieve, the results that you want. Things like green tea, again, amazing for pre-workout, high in antioxidants. It delays muscle fatigue.
Yeah, natural diuretic.
So we can eat sugars, but just at the right times. post-workout, sweet potatoes, things that are high GI and high in sugar, we need that replenishment instantly after we train.
So sweet potatoes, I was talking about this with someone just recently because people are so panicked about potatoes or sweet potatoes. But if you eat them, like you said earlier in the day, right?
Yeah,
it's better.
Absolutely.
And we need carbs, as human, that's what fuels us as well. So good carbs. Good carbs, good fats, avocados.
Absolutely.
Lemons. Olive oil.
Again, lemons, vibrant. They're like a natural detergent for the body. When you eat lemons and limes, it cleanses your system. So if you're looking for that detox, throw in a lemon a day and stick to more organic.
And then real quick too, with your background as a trainer, wouldn't you say it's like, is it true that it's 80% what you eat and 20% what you do?
Probably even more.
True?
It's probably even more. It's like all that you eat. You know what I mean? All that you fill your body with.
I would say 80-20, but again, the further you can get to 100, you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it, right? You want to be the best possible version of you that you can be. It's one life, just take care of you and the rest will be golden. So.
Well, I love this so much. We love having you on the show. You always bring us great information. But before we go, I would love for you guys to share, a tip that you've learned from acting or a skill or something that maybe could help the viewers on their daily life.
Something that acting has taught me, in our studio, we work very moment to moment. And in my daily life, it just helps me to live in the moment and just appreciate all that I have going on, all the things that I have, access to clean water, a cell phone, so many things that we take for granted in America, food at the grocery store that's readily available. So I just live in the now, and acting has helped me to do that a lot.
I love that. I love that.
And for me, I've learned that it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be nervous, scared, worried, happy. These are all traits that we all have. So it's taught me to really become friends with those and just to accept who you are and just, enjoy your life, be the best possible person that you can be. And that's pretty much it. So.
Okay, so is there anything that you guys have coming up that you can tell us about?
So I did a short film, which was really awesome. If you look him up on YouTube, the director, his name is Alexander the Titan, and he is really, really awesome. We did a Winnie the Pooh scary thing.
Oh, I love that.
And it was a lot of fun. So check out his channel. Another gentleman, I did a music video for him. His name is Lost on Rodeo Drive. If you listen to the song Jealousy, it's gonna be stuck in your head all summer long. It's just one of those songs, right?
Oh man, it's still in my head.
Yeah, it was stuck in Harris's head for weeks.
So will you be posting about this?
I'll be posting on my Instagram, and you guys can click the links and go support those amazing creators.
We love that, and we'll have all the links on the website. And then Harris, what about you? Because I know you've been doing a lot.
Yeah, I've got some auditions coming up in LA for various different acting roles. One about being a security guy in an ad, which I can't really talk about right now. So.
You can't give us the exclusive yet. You'll have to come back for that.
And just enjoying the journey of learning how to act and mastering the craft, and just kind of enjoying the ride and seeing where it takes me. So.
For more of these stories, head over to our website, thepulsesd.com. Make sure you're following us on social media at thepulsesd for all the behind the scenes fun. That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego.